What if we started mining asteroids? Imagine this. In a not-so-distant future, humanity no longer digs deep into Earth to find gold, platinum, or rare metals. Instead, we launch spacecraft into the cosmos, targeting ancient rocks drifting silently between planets. Asteroids packed with unimaginable treasure. A single asteroid just a few kilometers wide could hold enough precious metal to rewrite the entire global economy. This isn't science fiction anymore. With rapid advancements in space tech, AI, and autonomous robotics, asteroid mining is becoming a global race. But with that opportunity comes a flood of questions. What would really happen if we began mining asteroids? Would it usher in a new era of prosperity, or plunge us into an unpredictable chapter of cosmic chaos? Look up at the night sky. Among those faint specks of light lie colossal fortunes, asteroids scattered like raw gems across the solar system. With 20th century eyes, they looked like lifeless rocks. But from a 21st century perspective, they're cosmic gold mines waiting to be tapped. Asteroids are remnants from the early days of the solar system, fragments that never formed into full planets. They orbit throughout space, especially within the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Most are only a few hundred meters to a few dozen kilometers across. But their value lies in their composition: platinum, nickel, cobalt, gold, even rare elements Earth can't easily supply. Take asteroid 16 Psyche, for example, estimated to contain over $10 quadrillion worth of metals. That's more than the combined value of the entire global economy for centuries. And Psyche is just one of millions of untapped asteroids circling our sun. Unlike Earth, where precious metals are buried deep beneath layers of rock, asteroid resources are often closer to the surface, crystallized by ancient impacts, making them far more accessible. In short, we no longer need to dig down. We just need to look up. Of course, bringing this wealth back to Earth is a massive technological challenge, but even harvesting a small portion of it could trigger a new economic revolution, one where resources are no longer bound by geography, borders, or even planets. To mine an asteroid, we can't just bring pickaxes and hope. We need a revolution in aerospace technology. Reaching an asteroid requires spacecraft that fly farther, faster, and with pinpoint precision. They must rendezvous with objects that have near-zero gravity, stay in position without drifting, and operate under harsh conditions, extreme temperatures, no atmosphere, and constant radiation. This demands next-gen space navigation systems and autonomous robots, capable of drilling, cutting, collecting, and processing materials in space. These robots must adapt, self-repair, and learn, backed by AI designed for deep space operations. On top of that, we'll need off-Earth processing hubs. Sending raw materials back to Earth is wildly expensive. The solution? Process them in orbit, refining metals, printing components, and building infrastructure in space using space-sourced materials. This could reduce costs dramatically and pave the way for constructing space habitats and stations without relying on Earth. This shift, from mining Earth to mining the cosmos, will spark a ripple effect across industries, much like the Internet revolution did in the early 2000s. Expect a boom in new sectors: space mining engineers, extraterrestrial property lawyers, orbital insurance firms, and interplanetary logistics startups. The space race won't be just for governments, it'll be the domain of tech giants, bold investors, and rising nations. Once asteroid mining takes shape, it will redefine not just how we acquire resources, but why we explore space at all. No longer just a realm for science and curiosity, space will become a hub for production, innovation, and long-term habitation. And that turning point could forever shift humanity's identity, from a planetary species to a civilization among the stars. What if tomorrow we successfully mined an asteroid filled with billions of tons of gold and platinum? The global market wouldn't just shake. It could collapse entirely in a way unlike anything we've seen in modern economic history. That's because our economy, for thousands of years, has been built on one simple principle: resources are finite. And if scarcity were to vanish overnight thanks to a single space mission, the rules of the game would need a total rewrite. The value of precious metals, long propped up by Earth's natural limitations, would crumble. A ton of gold wouldn't be rare anymore if we could bring back thousands of tons from the asteroid belt. The wealth of central banks, nations, and individuals who hold gold would plummet. Financial markets, driven by forecasts and confidence, would spiral in the face of an unlimited supply. Inflation, devaluation, and speculative bubbles could erupt unless a new global regulatory system was quickly established. But within crisis lies opportunity. If space mining is well regulated, through international treaties, clear space laws, and equitable resource distribution, our world could enter a new economic era, the post-scarcity age, with metals, rare earth elements, and industrial materials no longer bound by geography or politics. The strain on Earth would ease, helping to protect ecosystems, prevent resource wars, and unlock true sustainability. Instead of trade wars, nations could collaborate to mine, process, and distribute space resources. Entirely new industries would emerge. Interplanetary shipping, space mining insurance, off-Earth resource security, and jobs we've never seen before. Millions of high-skill careers would be created across aerospace, education, law, healthcare, media, and culture, demanding tech-savvy, creativity, and a global mindset. Over time, the global economy could shift from extraction and consumption to space-based manufacturing, sustainable use, and interplanetary trade. A future smartphone might be built from asteroid-mined nickel, assembled in orbit, and delivered to Earth in hours via high-speed space transport. The concept of a global supply chain would expand beyond continents to encompass the entire solar system. Of course, this future only becomes real if humanity learns to manage greed, share benefits, and establish rules before the outer space gold rush turns into full-blown space warfare. Just like gold once toppled empires, uncontrolled asteroid mining could unravel the already fragile balance of our modern world. So when we say asteroid mining will rewrite the global economy, it's not a metaphor. It's a near certainty. The only question is, how will we hold the pen? And who will write the first chapter of this new space age? Once just a Hollywood fantasy, the idea of settling other planets is now inching toward reality. Thanks to rapid advances in space tech and the promise of asteroid mining, the key to humanity's expansion into the cosmos may lie not in some far-off utopia, but in the cold, quiet rocks drifting between worlds. To build colonies on the Moon, Mars, or beyond, our biggest challenge isn't ambition. It's logistics. Launching construction materials, fuel, oxygen, water, and food from Earth is prohibitively expensive. Each kilogram of cargo sent to space can cost tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, a price tag that makes large-scale interplanetary construction nearly impossible. That's why in situ resource utilization, mining space itself, is not just practical, it's essential. Asteroids are the perfect cosmic quarries. Many contain iron, nickel, and silicon, vital for 3D printing or casting space structures. Others contain ice, which can be split into oxygen and hydrogen for rocket fuel and breathable air. Extracting water from an asteroid near the Moon and electrolyzing it into fuel on-site could save hundreds of millions of dollars annually. In short, asteroids could become the natural gas stations of the solar system, extending humanity's reach like never before. This sets the stage for a revolutionary shift. Instead of launching and returning, we stay, we build, we thrive. From asteroid mining bases, we could assemble deep space motherships without launching every part from Earth. From the Moon, where gravity is weaker, ships could depart more easily to Mars or even further out, using far less energy. And from those very asteroids, we could one day build orbital habitats, research stations, or even full-fledged space cities. Interplanetary settlement isn't just humanity's backup plan in case Earth becomes uninhabitable. It's a chance to expand the boundaries of thought, creativity, science, and the human spirit itself. Just as our ancestors once left Africa to explore the rest of the world, we are now being invited by these seemingly lifeless rocks to take the next leap in our evolutionary journey. And one day, when you step out from the dome of a Mars outpost and look back at Earth, a small pale blue dot in the vast darkness, you'll realize that the journey didn't start in the sky. It started with an idea that we could mine asteroids, and from there, redefine the very meaning of home. As exciting as asteroid mining may sound, promising untold wealth and opportunity, it also carries risks that could cost humanity dearly if not approached carefully. First come the technical challenges. Intercepting and operating on a free-floating body in space is anything but easy. A single miscalculation in navigation or trajectory could push an asteroid off course, and in a worst-case scenario, send it hurtling toward Earth. This is not science fiction. A single asteroid just a few hundred meters wide could unleash destruction equivalent to hundreds of nuclear bombs, capable of wiping out an entire continent. Beyond the physical risks lie geopolitical and economic dangers. If access to asteroid mining is monopolized by a few private corporations or technologically dominant nations, global power dynamics could become more unbalanced than ever. Companies owning off-Earth resources would control the flow of rare materials, manipulate markets, and reshape global influence. This could trigger a new kind of resource race, reminiscent of colonialism, but on a cosmic scale. If humanity fails to establish clear rules, ethics, and international space law, our dream of reaching the stars could quickly turn into a nightmare of space monopolies, where the benefits are concentrated in the hands of a few, while the rest of the world is left watching from the ground. Asteroid mining could be the most transformative milestone in human history since the discovery of metal smelting or the invention of the steam engine. It marks the beginning of a new chapter, where resources are no longer confined to Earth's geology, but are spread across the solar system. A world where gold, platinum, water, oxygen, and fuel are harvested not from deep within the Earth, but from space itself. We could build, expand, and thrive using resources we've never had access to before. But with this potential comes a flood of unanswered questions. Who will own the resources we extract? A country? A corporation? All of humanity? How will we distribute the benefits between those who can afford to reach the stars and those still struggling with poverty here on Earth? Without a transparent system of international laws and widely accepted ethical principles, space, the symbol of hope and exploration, could become the next battlefield of greed and inequality. We are standing at the threshold of a cosmic treasure. The question isn't just whether we can open the door, but once we step through, who will we become? Pioneering explorers blazing a new path, or repeat offenders of old mistakes dressed in new technology. The difference lies in the choices we make, not in the next century, but right now.